2013 tournament champions, Division I final game. Patch Panthers up 24-18 over the Ramstein Royals. Patch coming in to the tournament ranked #1 and making it all the way to the finals, as many people predicted. But these Ramstein Royals ranked #4, which is a little bit low for them.
That's right. This Ramstein Royals team is no stranger to being in the championship game. 9 of the last 10 years, they've made it all the way to the final game of the DoDDS Europe basketball championships, and taking home the championship in 2009 and 2010. They'll look to add to that legacy tonight.
And we're going to go down now to our sideline reporter, Valerie Lloyd. Valerie, what do you got for us?
Hi, I'm here with Chris Germany, the captain of the Patch basketball team. And tell me, how do you think the first half of the game went?
I think the first half went really good. We worked together, but it's kind of really crazy out there because they're running a box and one on one of our players, so we have to function towards it.
And as team captain, how do you want to lead your team to victory in the second half?
I want to keep their heads up and keep them in the game instead of them putting their heads down when they don't make a shot, and just keep us going and motivated.
And what do you do to keep your team motivated?
I congratulate them even if it's a miss or make, and just keep their heads up all the time.
Well, that's great. Good luck to you. Thank you for talking to me, and back to you guys in the booth.
Thank you so much, Valerie. Appreciate it. All the hard work down there on the sidelines from all of our sideline reporters during the broadcast today. So as we're getting ready to start the second half of the Division I Boys Championship, the #1 ranked Patch Panthers against the #4 ranked Ramstein Royals. And if you'd like to join the action and get in on the conversation, make sure that you're telling your friends that you're watching the game. Send them the link, afneurope.net, post it on Facebook, put it out on Twitter. And if you want to send us an email, DoDDS2013@gmail.com. That's DoDDSBB2013@gmail.com. And we'll get as many of them on the air as we can and bring you this action from the Wiesbaden Fitness Center live here in Germany on the station that's been broadcasting to you and yours for 70 years now. And I'm just glad to be a part of this organization. And at the beginning of the second half, it's going to be Patch Panthers ball as the point guard, Brendan Jones, to inbound for captain Eric German.
Now, points have been pretty hard to come by. Points have been pretty hard to come by this game, and so I think if you can get one of these teams to get on a run here, that could be the deciding factor going here into the second half.
And Chris German running the point a little bit there. There's some confusion, as that was a little something outside of their game plan. Now they coming out of the locker room, Jesse, and they did something else where they had German running the point and Jones on the inbound. You could see it caused a little confusion.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're going to be trying this this half on offense, but they've changed it up some. We'll have to pay attention to that.
Jones pushing the action over to Robinson on the left side, trying to get the ball down low to German. Back to Robinson, the give and go, and it's good. Patch Panthers on the board first, coming out of the halftime.
Little splish splash from Splish Splash.
Will Dorsey from the top of the three-point line, and that's big. 21-26 now, with 7:20 to go in the third quarter. C.J. Ferguson on the floor, coming out of the break. He had such a great first half, coach decided to insert him in that starting lineup. And Jones fouled hard as he was going to the basket.
Usually you don't see the boys basketball players go to the ground unless they're getting hit pretty hard.
Both teams off to a quick start after a low-scoring first half. We'll see if they can keep it up.
Yeah, these Patch Panthers, I believe, put up, what was it, 68 in the semifinals, 70?
About that.
They went up big on K-Town and just never looked back on their way to this championship ball game.
Got out to a big lead in the second quarter and just kept laying it on for the rest of the game.
Jones can't convert on the second, but the rebound pulled down by Mike Johnson to the top of the key, C.J. Ferguson. Ferguson looking for space, can't get it to go. Rebound pulled down by Christian Gunya out to Lita Bose.
If I remember right, DeBose hit a three to end the game last night, basically.
Yeah, it was.
Not to send it into overtime, but for the final nail in the overtime period.
It was a big shot in the overtime. It was Will Dorsey who hit the three to send it to the overtime game. DeBoe's back. Tevabau can't hit. Rebound. Jesse Gray and the foul. And that's going to send him to the line for two.
Ramstein definitely not going down easy. They're going to keep battling.
6:22 left in the third quarter. Patch Panthers up 28-21. Jesse Gray good on the first of two. Johnny Pack coming in, giving Drew Tevabau a bit of a break here in the third. Lots going on underneath the basket, but the ball ends up in the hands of Gunya. Puts it back, 27-23, Patch Panthers. Chris German can't hit. Gunya on the rebound, out to Will Dorsey. Dorsey thought about it. Second thought, decided to keep it, get the offense going. Johnny Pack now. Over to DeBose. Dorsey pulls the trigger this time. The ball's halfway down. How does that stay out of the basket, he's thinking. Jesse Gray up and under, but it's not going to count. So it looks like they are running a box and one against the Patch Panthers. They're trying to take John Robinson out of the ball game. As you can see, Jesse, Lee DeBose face guarding John Robinson as the rest of the team is playing a zone. Why would they do that? Why would they play man on one player and play zone with the rest of their defense?
Yeah, they're obviously worried about Robinson getting off, as Mason talked to the coach about earlier today. They're very aware of where he is on the court, and they don't want to let him get any easy points.
That's something to keep an eye on, as you'll see DeBose, 14 for Ramstein, just hounding John Robinson, number 20 for the Panthers. Johnny Pack swinging it over to DeBose. Back to Will Dorsey. And Chris German on the steal, looking for Robinson. And it's blocked by Johnny Pack, who gets back in transition defense. And that's the kind of hustle you're going to need in the championship game.
Yeah, Ramstein is not giving up.
John Robinson now to the line. And that might be the only way Robinson gets any looks, Jesse, if all he can do is in transition try to get to the line, because they're trying to keep the ball out of his hand in the half court.
Yeah, that's right. They've been trying to push the ball all game long, and so far it's paid off.
So I've been getting a lot of emails about some technical difficulties that are going on right now. There's evidently no audio online if you're streaming it, so it's not really going to help you for me to say this right now, but you can catch it on Pentagon channel if you can pick that up. They are working on the audio for the streaming. It's a technical issue. They're working on it. Hopefully it'll be back soon.
If you could do us a big favor and you're watching on the Pentagon channel, can you put it out on your social media that we're trying to work on this problem? If anyone's streaming it on afneurope.net, we'd really appreciate it. 4:34 left to go in the third. Patch up 29-24 over the Royals. C.J. Ferguson for three. Well short. Looks like Johnny Pack might have got a hand on that. Will Dorsey looking to get it to Graves down low. There's a foul. Gray to the line to shoot two.
So, Jesse, do you think these Patch Panthers or Ramstein Royals, do you think they're looking like they're a little slow or a little tired?
I don't know. I'm not seeing it yet. I mean, typically you would see, not being able to jump and catch rebounds or shots coming up short, hitting the front rim. I'm not seeing that yet. They're really battling to stay in this game. Both teams have fought long and hard to be here, and neither one is going down easy.
Yeah, they're probably working on all adrenaline right now in the final game of some of their career. The long pass from German looking for Robinson up the right side. Out of bounds, Royals ball.
Ramstein's probably a little well-rested since they've been going home every night, sleeping in their own beds, waking up eating breakfast at whenever they want at their house.
Playing their own Xbox.
Yeah, speaking of Xbox, the patch coach told me that after yesterday's big win, they went home, they had dinner, they went to sleep right away. And then I asked the players, I was like, hey, coach told me you guys went back and went to sleep. And they kind of just like looked at each other, didn't say anything. And I asked if they spent a little time last night playing some Xbox, or did coach take them all? And I won't name names because I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but they definitely had an Xbox.
You're watching live coverage of the Dodds 2013 Tournament Champions on the station that's serving America's best.
Operation Solemn Promise allows us all the opportunity to pause, because that's what professionals do. To pause, to look inward at who we are, what we stand for as professionals. Ultimately, Operation Solemn Promise is a constant reminder of why we all serve.
And we're back to Wiesbaden Fitness Center for the Dodge 2013 Tournament of Champions. Patch Panthers up over the Ramstein Royals, 25-29 in favor of the Patch Panthers. 3:54 left to go in the third quarter.
I keep getting emails about a rumor that there's free hot dogs if the Ramstein team wins. I don't know anything about this. If there are free hot dogs, though, I know I want some.
I want about 15. C.J. Ferguson taking it strong, dishing to Johnson. Can't convert. Great with the rebound. Over to Gunya, who's looking to push the action. Looks like he got some contact. He's asking for a call and not getting it.
And Gunya at 6'3", taking the ball coast to coast.
It only takes him about 6 steps to get from baseline to baseline.
You can tell he wants it. He's one of the 2 seniors starting for this team.
Technical foul called on the Ramstein Royals head coach.
Evidently, he didn't agree with the no call on the last play. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that that's what that technical came from.
Len Tarnowski getting teed up.
He was having a friendly discussion with one of the referees on how he felt the game should be officiated, and the referee decided to tell him it's his job to call the plays.
I'm sure it was very professional between the two.
They're great friends. They're going to go have dinner tomorrow.
And you never want to see that at this stage in the tournament with everything on the line. 1 point in a game this close could mean anything.
That just took it from a 2-point to a 4-point game. And they get the ball.
Brendan Jones converting on the technical foul, and he will inbound. 3:20 left to go in the third quarter. Ramstein down 27 to Patch Panthers 31.
I love how you point out that he converted on it. You just didn't assume that he was going to do it. The guy's nickname is Mamba. He's going to do it.
And that was one thing that we saw in all the time that we got to watch the Patch Panthers. Something that I really remember is they make free throws. At the end of the game, they make free throws. At the beginning of the game, they make free throws. And you can see how important that is because every point counts, Jesse.
Absolutely, especially in a game like this. Just 3 minutes to go in the third and a 4-point game. Each one of those points is going to matter if it's going to stay close like this.
Chris German over to Ferguson, looking to break into the defense, and the offensive foul. Johnny Pack holding his ground and taking a charge. Royals ball. Just under 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Patch up 31-27. Johnny Pack can't keep it inbounds. It's going to be Panthers ball. And remember, You can send us an email at any point. Just want to keep making sure that you know that you can always contact us, always get us on our iPad up here, DoDDSBB2013 at gmail.com, DoDDSBB2013 at gmail.com.
Lots of people saying that the sound isn't working online. The technicians are working to repair that. Hopefully it should be back very shortly.
And if you're watching on the Pentagon channel, then you're the only ones that can hear us, so please spread the word that we're working on these technical difficulties. But as long as we're still getting video to our online viewers, they can still follow this amazing game between the Panthers and the Royals. Foul call on the Royals. That's Pack on the foul. That's going to put Mike Johnson on the line.
Think the janitor can clean it up. Oh, hey, look, on the screen, there are the Ramstein Royals. I want to congratulate them. They came in first place for Division I cheerleaders. If you didn't get a chance to catch the cheer competitions or any of the Division III, Division II games earlier today, there is going to be a replay in March. As soon as we get an exact date and time, AFN will put that out across the board for you.
Johnson converting on the second of the 2 free throws. Giving Patch 32-27 lead.
Not to leave the Patch cheerleaders out of the mix. They had 4 cheerleaders get selected for the all-tournament team, as well as getting the Spirit Award and coming in third. So quite the cheer teams we've got here tonight for this Division I game.
And I have to say, I got a chance to catch the cheer competition today, and I was blown away by the athleticism and the energy of the boys and girls of all of these cheer squads. Impressive stuff, and I think it changed a lot of people's minds about what these cheer athletes go through to perform during these games. As Brendan Jones hits his second 3 of the ball game. 35-27 now the score in favor of the Patch Panthers. Just under 2 minutes left to go in the third.
Speaking of the cheer competition this morning, Rhoda got their 6th championship in a row. 6.
And they deserved it. I got to watch that performance, and they were amazing. Call them a small school if you want. They have big hearts and incredible choreography. It was mind-blowing what they were doing. You're watching coverage of the DoDDS 2013 Tournament of Champions right here on the station, serving America's best.
The 7th U.S. Army Joint Multinational Simulation Center, located in Grafenwehr, Germany, is the Army in Europe's world-class training center for simulations-based training. The JMSC provides unit with cost-effective, decisive action training environments from the soldier to combined joint task force level. For more information, contact 475-JMSC.
Welcome back to the Wiesbaden Fitness Center as we're bringing you live coverage of the DoDDS 2013 Tournament of Champions Division I, a boys championship right here on AFN, a station that has been bringing you a little touch of home for the past 70 years. If you'd like to join the conversation and the broadcast, send us an email at DoDDSBB2013 at gmail.com, DoDDSBB2013 at gmail.com.
Mia, a Royals fan, is sitting there at home rooting for her best friend, Lee DeBose, out on the court, doing big things for the Ramstein Royals. Hopefully they can fight back and get it a little closer for her.
Jones from way downtown feeling it. Now, Jesse, is he doing that because he can't get off his defenders, so he feels if he moves back, he get a little space?
If he's going to hit it from that far away, there's not going to be much Ramstein will be able to do about that. That's the shot they want him to take, and if he's going to make it, it's going to be a long day for Ramstein.
So a little lag in the emails. I just got one from Kurt saying, nice 3 by Brendan, which was 7 or 8 possessions ago.
Yeah, that was.
So.
And it worked out perfectly because then he just hit that one.
It is 3G.
From near midcourt. Loose ball picked up by Christian Gunya as he goes up and lays it in.
Before the game, I asked Gunya, I was like, hey, you're a big guy. You going to dunk tonight or not? And he said, man, a layup's just as good as a dunk.
Two's a two.
He said, I don't get style points for it.
As we're now under a minute to go in the third, Brendan Jones looking to get loose. Over to Johnson. Chris German now swings it to C.J. Ferguson. trying to slash. The ball's tied up, and it's a jump ball. It's going to be Ramstein Royals on the possession arrow.
And Ramstein is not rolling over for anyone. They want this just as bad as the other team, and they're going to show it.
38-29. Patch out to a 9-point lead. 42 seconds left to go in the third. Dorsey to Gray. Gunya. Back to Dorsey. Gunya looking to take it hard. The double pump off the glass. It's half in, half out. And now the Panthers take it back in transition. Robinson finally getting free from that box and one. Foul called before the shot.
Even though these guys have been playing 5 games in the last 3 days, they are wearing at least clean socks, because last night,
Will Dorsey
had on some red socks with some yellow flames down the side running into his yellow shoes. Kind of made him look like he was on fire when he hit that 3 to send it to overtime.
Now he's rocking the blue and red with the yellow sneaks. Sure you can see that from everywhere in the gym. Lots of action on the floor. Who's going to come up with it? Pack eventually gets it, rolls over. Jesse, what I'm wondering is, how do you feel about that call? With that kind of effort and that kind of energy on the floor, should that be a traveling call, or should they just let it play on and maybe call a jump ball?
It's tough. You can see that there's a lot of heart out there, and they're doing everything they can to give themselves an advantage, but the rules are the rules.
And that's going to do it for the action of the third quarter, as we're moving in to the big fourth in the championship game for Division I 2013 Tournament of Champions. You're watching a live coverage of the Tournament of Champions right here on AFN, the station that's serving America's best.
I'm gonna need you to step out of the car, sir.
And welcome back to our coverage of the Tournament of Champions here on AFN. Streaming around the world on AFNEurope.net. We're having some technical difficulties on our web stream, but we're working on it. We have some world-class technicians that know what they're doing and doing their best to get everything back up and running.
Kurt's at home emailing us that he's losing his voice. He's screaming at his TV so loud. Kurt, I got to tell you, I'm glad you're excited and we're having a blast up here watching this game, but I can't hear you. You're going to have to get louder.
Welcome to the club, Kurt. As we've been covering basketball for the last 3 days, you can hear it creeping into my voice as well. As we get started in the fourth and final quarter in the 2013 Division I Boys Championship, Panthers up 9 points on the Ramstein Royals. Brendan Jones looking to add to that lead. C.J. Ferguson getting contact on it, no call, out of bounds, and it's going to stay with the Patch Panthers.
You wonder if the Patch coach is a little worried about them falling in love with that three-pointer. They've been going to that a lot more. We'll see if they can keep connecting.
And in their first meeting in the round-robin play, it was the only thing keeping the Patch Panthers in the game, as the Royals had the advantage down low and were using it, but the Patch Panthers got hot. Both Jones and Robinson hitting big threes to keep them in that ball game and eventually giving them the victory.
I don't know if you just saw, got trapped in a corner, jumped up and just spiked the ball off the Royal defender to get it to go out of bounds so they could just re-inbound and start over.
Ferguson taking it hard. Dorsey taking some contact and off the glass. Good no call there, as it looked like there was some contact, but it was mutual.
So much for falling in love with three-pointers.
Most popular man at the tournament getting a jumper.
C.J. Freeze. DeBoe's a bit long on the jumper. Robinson with the rebound. Looking to push, but Christian Gunya has other plans as he gets his hand on them to steal. And Will Dorsey in amongst the Giants loses it. Robinson comes up with the loose ball, and now Chris German, the captain for the Panthers, over to Ferguson, and the foul.
CJ is just running at people, hoping that somebody fouls him.
Pack still down on the court, hoping he can shake it off. Comes up a bit limpy. If limpy is a word. Is limpy a word? That didn't sound right. Is limpy a word?
It is now.
There we go.
You said it on worldwide television. It's got to be a word.
If you can find it on urbandictionary.com, it's a real word, right?
I wouldn't go with that. If you're at home, don't go to Urban Dictionary.
6:52 left to go in the ball game. This is the championship, Division I. Patch up 40 to Ramstein's 29. Ferguson adding to the lead.
In the background there, you can see those Patch cheerleaders showing some of that spirit that earned them the Tournament Spirit Award.
Which is the award given out to the cheer squad who was judged during the actual games. There was 2 competitions, individuals and at his own players.
One of the things he was telling me before the game is execution is key. So he's probably just upset that they're not executing his offense and his defense the way that he designed it, because they've been doing great all season, running it the way he wants it to run. And if they're not doing that, it's probably going to get him a little upset. He seems like an old school guy.
And how's that for a little half-court D, Jesse?
Very nice.
Brendan Jones to the left side, looking for some space and can't get it. He's cut off by Gunya. Tevabau out from the paint, guarding onto the perimeter. The big man getting the turnover. Is I don't think Chris German was ready for Tevabau to come out that far away from the basket.
Yeah, Patch has a significant lead, but they haven't been overwhelming. They've slowly built that lead, and Ramstein's not going to go down easy, though. They're going to keep fighting.
DeBose off on the three-point.
So I got to mention about half of these emails are coming in. At the bottom of it says sent from my iPad. So looks like we're not the only ones embracing modern technology here, chatting back and forth with some listeners also on their iPads.
4:36 left to go in the ball game. Patch Panthers up over the Ramstein Royals, 43-34. Robinson keeping the ball in, throws it to DeBose, and the Royals looking to get moving on in transition. Ball goes out to Gunya, and some contact, I'm not sure where. Looks like it was under the hoop. Loose ball foul? It's got to stay with the Royals.
It looked like as they went up for the rebound, got a little push in the back by Brendan Jones, trying to get him off his rebound track so he couldn't get that shot back up quickly.
Coach Tarnowski decided to take a timeout. He wants to talk about it. As the cheerleaders for the Patch Panthers now out on the court, giving a little show. And there's the Ramstein team trying to do their best to go back and forth. Something that I've been really paying attention to as we've been watching a lot of these games is there's a little competition going on between these cheer squads as well.
Yeah, it's really interesting to watch the back and forth. One squad will send somebody tumbling down and they'll cross midcourt, and immediately
it's a rebuttal.
The other team will send 2 back the other way.
It's a rebuttal tumbling pass, and I've had to ask a couple of the cheerleaders, is this something that goes on? And the funny thing about it is they never want to admit that there's anything going on, trying to sound louder during the other one's cheer.
They always say no and nod their heads yes.
Yeah, so there's always something going on there. I appreciate that they're trying to keep it on the down low. However, it's pretty obvious if you're here at the game.
Subtlety isn't their key. You're standing out in front of a crowd screaming your head off. You can't really embrace subtlety. You're not sneaking anything by us up here in the broadcast booth, that's for sure.
Jesse Gray gets the pass off the inbound and converts.
Shannon and her husband are sitting at home watching. They're really excited about how Patch is doing. They both graduated from there many years ago, they say, but their daughter went to Bitburg. They were able to catch that game earlier today.
Robinson converts and one. He's going to attempt the three-point old-fashioned play. Now, if you've ever heard that term, Jesse, what does that mean when someone says a three the old-fashioned way?
Sure. Well, there didn't always used to be three-point shots where you could shoot enough away from the basket where it would count for 3 points. And the only way you could score 3 points on a single play is to make a basket, a 2-point field goal, and get fouled and complete the foul shot.
So you mean to tell me they used to only have 2-point baskets?
That's right.
I don't think I know enough history about basketball. I think you should get 4 for anything beyond half court.
Or
personally.
10.
I'm sure the Ramstein Royals wish they could have a couple full-point shots right now so they can get back into this ball game as they're creeping back in and cutting the Patch lead down to 9 with 3:45 to go in the ball game of the Division I 2013 Dodds Boys Championship.
Play getting a little sloppy here late. Ramstein may not be the only ones that have to worry about fatigue.
You can see some of the fans here. It's a great venue if you get a chance to come to the Wiesbaden Fitness Center and check out this new facility. It's pretty amazing. Christian Gunya down hard, helped up by some of the Patch Panthers. No one likes to see that.
I mean, if you're going to tackle the guy, you might as well help him back up.
Yes, I nailed you, and I'm sorry. You get to shoot too.
I'm mostly sorry.
And these may be the last 2 free throws Christian Gunya shoots for his team. He's a senior, and this is his last game.
3:30 left to go now in the ball game. Patch up 46 to Ramstein's 37. CJ Ferguson in the paint, up and over Jesse Gray, just short. Gunya on the rebound, looking to push it. Jesse Gray up and under, hits the front of the iron, follows up his own shot.
I know on the scoreboard a layup is worth the same amount of points as a dunk, but with the amount of Ramstein fans here, can you just imagine how crazy this stadium would go if he was able to dunk the...
I've been waiting to see a dunk all tournament. I've only seen one clean dunk all tournament.
Kelsey Thomas
from Wiesbaden put it down so fierce.
Round robin, he just got wide open. Nobody was in the backcourt with him. They just chucked him the ball and he just slammed it down.
Ramstein now back into this game. It's 6 points, 46-40 now, as they cut a one-time double-digit lead down to 6 with 3 minutes to go in the ball game.
They chose a good time to go on a run, but we'll see if it was too little too late or just in the nick of time.
Always best to get hot at the end of the season to go into the playoffs, get hot at the end of the game going into the final.
And this is where we might see some of that fatigue setting in for Ramstein, as they had a game that went down to the wire, final shot with less than a second left to go to overtime, and then they had to play an entire overtime period. So all these teams playing the same amount of games, but Ramstein a little more fatigued because of that overtime.
And that was a very emotional game too, Wiesbaden having lost their starting center. Anytime you have that type of emotion surrounding a game like that, it's going to drain you.
It was a really rough injury to watch. Hoping the best and quick recovery to Cordoni.
Brendan Jones didn't like the look of this comeback from Ramstein and takes it to the basket. Easy layup on the left side. Get the lead back to 8 for the Panthers. So there is an over and a back call.
A lot of dribbling on that possession. I'm sure coach wanted a few more passes.
Called it off of Lee DeBose's knee. So I thought it was tipped. I thought it wasn't going to be an over and back, because if the defender tips it back over, you're allowed to go get it, come back. But evidently Lee dribbled it off of his leg and then chased it down.
The back cut to captain Chris German. John Robinson keeping his head up and finding the open man. 10-point ball game, back to double digits now as Patch Panthers are up 50 to the Royals 40 with 2:26 left to go in the game. Jesse Gray getting some work down low, can't convert. Out to Robinson, finding CJ Ferguson all alone, and he gets it.
Patch now on a 6-0 run. We'll see if Ramstein can answer.
Evidently we weren't the only ones at that Wiesbaden game the other day. JC just shot me an email saying that was Kelsey Thomas's only second dunk in his career in a game.
I'm glad he got to do it. He put it down easy too. It wasn't even close. He got up and tossed it down. A timeout on the floor now. 1:58 to go. What was once a 6-point ball game, 30, 40 seconds ago, is now out to 12 as the Patch Panthers are up 52-40 on the Royals. Keep those emails coming in. DoDDSBB2013 at gmail.com. That's DoDDSBB2013 gmail.com.
I wish we could get a bigger, wider shot of the court because these Patch cheerleaders just went flipping all the way down the court. And as the Ramstein cheerleaders saw them start to flip, they decided to pick up one of their own cheerleaders to get them up higher, get them up above the flip so they can talk directly to their fans.
Some of the fans enjoying the action here, Wiesbaden Fitness Center.
So Mason, you mentioned that Ramstein's game plan was partially to limit Robinson and Jones. How do you think they've executed on that one so far?
You know, last game Jones had 17, the last time these two played. I think he's got about 17 tonight. I haven't been keeping track, but it seems like Robinson and Jones are involved in every play that Ferguson doesn't squeeze his way into.
Jamel Kingsbury now in the game for the Royals. Tevabal trying to get it into Jesse Gray. Can't do it as the past Panthers take over possession with 1:37 left to go in the ball game.
That turnover was on a bounce pass in the paint. Jesse, is that something you usually want to avoid?
Sorry, that was a really good play by Patch.
John Robinson along the baseline, a little slap on the glass for emphasis.
I believe you put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable there, Luke.
And some chippy play now as the hard foul on the Mamba, as he's known, and not only amongst his teammates too. As we were watching some of the games with Patch, a lot of the crowd getting in on the Mamba chant for Brendan Jones.
It's on the back of his warm-up. I think he's embraced the nickname.
It's going to send him to the line now, as the Panthers are in the bonus.
Now, Mason, what were you asking about post play?
That there was a turnover on a bounce pass in the paint, and I was just asking you because you know a significant more about basketball than I do. Is that something you usually teach your players to avoid? Is you don't want to have a bounce pass right underneath the basket because of the ability for it to just get picked off so easily?
It's okay to have a bounce pass when you're feeding your big man inside, but what you don't want to do is try to force that interior play when the opponent is running a zone like that. A zone is very tough to post up on, so you want to get quick passes around and try to find the open man to beat that.
Two big free throws from Brendan Jones. Now the lead 56-40 with 1:17. Patch running away with this one, and the Ramstein Royals are going to have to do something big in the last minute in order to get back into this one. Will Dorsey now. Over to Santee Jackson, who's entered the ball game. Christian Gunya getting one to fall. We haven't heard much from Gunya in the second half.
It's something the Ramstein coach said he wanted to do is spread the ball around more. I haven't seen it really today. It's been a lot of the same guys scoring over and over, and not a lot of, we've only seen two guys come off the bench for him the whole night.
And now we're inside of a minute. Foul on Dorsey's going to send Jones back to the line.
You're talking about chippy play. There might be a reason behind that. Not only did these guys play in the football championship earlier this year, this is the third time these teams have met in basketball this season, and Patch won both of the first two. So Ramstein was looking for some revenge. Down 16 with less than a minute to go. It might get chippier from here.
And we'll try to get a couple of your emails in before the end of this ballgame if you want to keep them coming in. DoDDSBB2013 @gmail.com. DoDDSBB2013 @gmail.com. Christian Gunya, the spin and the bucket. And now the Royals looking to foul. Can't get a hand on anybody. The clock is ticking down. Robinson taking the ball over to the left side, and he's fouled. Ryan McGuire now into the ball game with his first.
And there's really nothing to be ashamed of for Ramstein's performance tonight. They've done a good job of hitting the open man, sharing the ball, and just playing the right way. Unfortunately, some of the shots just haven't fallen, and Patch has always had an answer.
And Patch now emptying the bench as they're going to bring off their starters to a standing ovation from the Panthers fans.
So we were talking about dunks, and we got to see Kelsey Thomas. Earlier today, though, in the bomb holder game, Andrew Reed had a couple really close dunks, and he slammed one down pretty hard. But he had a windmill jam on Wednesday that we weren't here for that. We didn't show up till Thursday. I gotta hope somebody caught that on video because I'm gonna go search YouTube tonight when I get home.
Yeah, with all these iPhones around, it's got to happen.
Yeah, if there's no video, it didn't happen.
Desmond Hall entering the game now for the Panthers, along with Zamir Jones. We also got Hunter Massey getting a couple minutes here at the end of the ball game. Will Dorsey looking for a three. It's short, tipped by Gunya, doesn't fall.
Kurt and Brittany aren't the only Patch fans at home screaming their heads off. The entire Looney family wasn't able to make the trip, but their daughter is a big Patch fan. They're watching at home, and they're going crazy right now.
17 seconds left. Dorsey looking to put some more points on the board, gets his own rebound. Over to Gunya, up and the foul. John Mangalaman also in for the Patch Panthers, along with Zamir Jones, Hunter Massey, Desmond Hall.
And if he makes these will likely be the final points of his career. Gunya's a senior, and this is his last game.
It's a tough way to go out, but he's had a great tournament.
He has played in every championship game the entire time he's been in high school. Ramstein or Heidelberg has been in the final game since 2007.
And as the final ticks on the clock, picked up and almost put down. It does fall for Drew Tefferbaugh, but that's going to do it. The Patch Panthers victorious 60 over Ramstein's 46. And you can hear the crowd go nuts for the Division I boys champion, Patch Panthers. They came in ranked number 1, and they took it all the way to the championship for the year 2013.
And there on the screen is a fan taking a picture with their iPad. They're everywhere.
And as you can hear, Queens serenade the winners here at the Wiesbaden Fitness Center. Patch Panthers, your 2013 champs.
And a great season by both teams. And I'm willing to bet you haven't heard the last from the Ramstein Royals. They'll likely be back next year.
Want to give a big thank you to all the DoDDS personnel who helped put this together, along with the gym staff here at the Wiesbaden Fitness Center. We also had 52 AFN personnel working on this. You're only hearing the voices of us three right now, but there's a lot of work and time and effort that goes into this. We want to say thank you. We're going to go now down to Valerie Lloyd with an interview with the winning coach of the Patch Panthers. Valerie?
I'm here with the coach of the Patch Panthers. Congratulations on the win tonight, sir. Tell me, how are your feelings about the game tonight?
Well, it was a great game. Ramstein did a super job. They're a competitor. This is the third time we played them this year, and they played us so hard all game long. So I'm really happy that we could come out on top of this one. This was a great game. The kids just did a great job for us. Really pleased.
And how do you think that Eric and Dylan did as team captains in leading the team?
The Dylan? Dylan's our rock out there. You know, he just helps everyone. He settles everyone down when we need it, and he does a good job. So he does everything I've asked him to do all season long. And Chris German did a super job. CJ came in off the bench. They all just did a great job.
Well, congratulations again. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great night tonight. And back to you guys in the booth.
And that's going to do it for our coverage here of the DoDDS 2013 champion. Thank you for joining us on the station that's been serving you for 70 years. AFN, serving America's best.